is Greg, K4HSM, and I thought I'd take some time to kind of give you guys a kind of a reminder and a refresher on preparing for winter weather. So not just for a ham radio perspective, but also from a general perspective, how to prepare your family, how to prepare your loved ones so that they are all ready to go as we get closer to winter. Officially it's the end of December, but of course try telling it to a lot of people here where it's cold, 40 degrees, and we're probably going to have a couple of big cold snaps here pretty soon. But to prepare for winter weather is something everybody should be doing. So here's some tips and some things that I use, as well as what's recommended by emergency management and the National Weather Service. So enjoy. Okay, so what I have here is a backpack that is basically a go kit for emergencies. In the event that you end up stuck somewhere and are going to be socked in your vehicle for a few days, or hopefully not, but it has happened where people are stuck for over 24 hours, even right there by the interstate, because snowplows and emergency vehicles are just not able to get to you. So in the most extreme circumstances, here's what you can have in a backpack. Here in East Tennessee, a lot of people may get stuck up in the mountains, so some of these supplies will be good to have. First thing, of course, extra clothes. So I have an extra sweatshirt, toboggan, extra pair of gloves. I have a scarf, and I have a pair of socks. I've got underwear, but I don't think you want to see that. Also, I have a blanket. Just purchased this recently when I went to go see this movie. And so I do have an extra blanket to help keep warm. Another thing to have is toilet paper, because if you're going to be out there for a while, you might have to go into the woods. So we think bears do it. You probably do too. So definitely want to have hygiene as a factor. Now, for the ham radio operator in you and me, I have not just one, but here on the side I have two handy talkies. So just in case. Now they both are different brands. This one has a flashlight on it, but they both do 2 meters and 440, and you know, they're both unique in their own way. This one I have, it's a Yaesu FT60, easy to handle, easy to program, easy to punch in frequencies to check and see if anyone's out there. With this one, it's a little more difficult to program, but it does have shortwave. It has it has a wider range of frequencies that you can listen to, and it has that little flashlight again. So also I have in my little pocket here, I have this. It's a car charger. This particular one goes into the car adapter, but it also has USB and USB-C. Has two different kinds of adapters, because some of your electronics that you take with you may use different plugs. So next up, I'm going to open up this over here. Again, spare batteries. Your flashlights, your HTs. This particular HT has a battery pack that uses AA batteries. So keep at least one, if not two, replacement battery packs in your bag so that you don't have to worry if you're out there in the middle of nowhere. Also, I have a multi-tool. You just never know when you might need it. You know, it could be as simple as checking the connections on your battery for your vehicle, or you might have to use it for other purposes. In some cases, you may have to use this to break out of the window to get out of the vehicle, like if you end up in a pond somewhere. Now, I don't expect everybody to have this, but this is a laser light, and of course it's not going to work. So I do have to get the battery charged up for this one, but it's a green laser. It doesn't, yeah, there it is, just barely. I don't know if you may not be able to see it on the camera, but a green laser. And I use the green laser because it's brighter and it gets more attention. So if you're up in the mountains, or if you're out in the middle of nowhere, you can use a laser light to signal someone. Now, here's the backup battery pack I was telling you about. That goes to the FT60. So I can take this, put the batteries in it, and get a little bit of life out of that. Now, another thing, an energy bar or some sort of a snack. I have 3 or 4 of these in here because these have what's the calorie count on these things? 100 calories. So it'll last you a little bit, but probably won't last you 24 hours. So definitely have a few in there of whatever you prefer. Next up, I have this Netscape CD, and wait, what the Netscape CD? What the hell? Oh, I'm sorry. This is for my next video, what to do when hell freezes over. All right, so next up, you're gonna have a first aid kit. It can be simple medications. You might want to put in your normal medications, and you can put them in the prescription bottles, but just have like 3 or 4 pills of each, depending on what your dosages are, for about 48 to 72 hours worth of dosages in all of your medications. You can put them in a different bag. Have some Band-Aids. I have these little wisps that I get at the store for brushing my teeth, and you know, something to do, something to keep you busy when you're out there in the middle of nowhere. Also, I have this. This is a portable charger, just a little kit or a little battery pack that you can use to plug in your charger and charge up your devices. So that way you're not totally draining your vehicle. Another thing, something to write on, something to write with. So this is a pencil, a mechanical pencil, and this is a pen in case the ink freezes if it gets cold. So you can use a pencil, and that's to write stuff down. You can write down your GPS coordinates if you know how to get them off of your phone. You can pull up the GPS coordinates and write them down so that you can relay them. Along with the first aid kit, I keep lip balm. Your lips will get chapped out there, especially in the cold, if you have to go walking around the vehicle. Another thing, sunglasses. If you get stuck with a lot of snow, there's a lot of white, you'll get snow blind. Now these fit over my normal glasses, but if you have any kind of shades, go get yourself some cheap sunglasses. Another thing here, connector. This is an SMA to a PL259, and this HT right here, I can plug that in. I can replace that, put the HT on that, and I have an external mag mount antenna in my vehicle. I can plug this into that, and that'll get me out a little bit further. Another thing I have is a flashlight. Now this one does work. You can see that it has different levels of brightness, but it also has red and it has ultraviolet. So it has these different ones, and I think I thought it had the blinky, but I don't think it does that one. Now this one does. I know not everybody's going to have this, but this is a clip-on light, And this one, it does the white, it goes dim, you got the red, you got the blinking between blue and red, almost like a police light. That will definitely get somebody's attention if you're out in the middle of nowhere. So you should probably have that as well. And of course, if you have to go out into the woods, you can use these. It's just a plastic bag that you get at your grocery store. Just roll it up, put it in the bag with you. You can deposit waste and trash into the bag. And of course, your charging cables. This one is USB mini or USB micro. This one's USB-C. Have a charging cable for each of your electronic devices, including your smartphone. Like I said, here's this little portable charger. I can plug that in here. Then I can take my cell phone and plug it in, and I'll turn it on. And hard to see, but it is charging. So anyway, so these are all the things that I have just in a backpack. And, you know, any old backpack will do. If you're worried about the cost of a backpack, you don't need anything spectacular. You can get one at a thrift store, maybe $5, maybe 10, just depending on what all they have and what all kinds they carry. Let's stuff it back real quick, and we'll go back in and discuss some more things to take with you when you are out and about. Okay, one other thing I did not mention was water. Probably should not carry water in your vehicle, especially if you live in an area where there are sub-freezing temperatures throughout much of the year, like the northern US, Canada, northeast areas, and high altitude areas, of course Alaska and the Rocky Mountain areas. If you have sub-zero temperatures, those water bottles will freeze. And if they are brand new water bottles, they will probably compromise the bottle. So you probably wouldn't want to do that. And the only thing I can suggest is, if you want to keep bottles in your vehicle, is to take half of the water out of the bottle, so that when the bottle, if it does freeze, if it expands, it's not going to burst the bottle, or it significantly reduces it. But yeah, any liquids in your vehicle, especially if the temperatures are going to be below freezing for long periods of time, I would definitely not take with you already in the vehicle. I would carry them out to the vehicle as you get ready to go wherever it is that you're headed. So just FYI on that. So now let's go look at other things to possibly put in your vehicle that is recommended by emergency services. All right, so now that we have the backpack loaded up again, easy to take in and out of the house, basically your essentials. And you can, switch out the clothing, switch out the batteries. You can do all that in pretty quick succession. Let's talk about what else you should have in your vehicle. First off, a scraper with a brush. Get that snow off the windshield. Next up is an emergency road kit. So this is an incomplete kit. This is just for demonstration purposes, but every one of these kits should have a basic toolkit, screwdrivers and socket set, the 3-sided triangle shaped roadside markers, jumper cables, and a tire gauge. So I would definitely invest in getting something like that to keep in your vehicle at all times. Next up, a shovel. Need to get that stuff all that white stuff shoveled from around your vehicle, you can use this to help dig yourself out. And that's a pretty small size shovel. It's nice and portable. I know they make some for camping, so you can look into getting something like that. Also, tow rope to help get your vehicle out. Any kind of towing cables of some sort may come in handy to help get you out of a bad situation. Next up, they talk about waterproof matches, or just matches in general, as well as a candle and a cigarette lighter. And you can use anything like that. Candle would be used to help melt snow. If you have a small metal container, you can scoop up water or snow and then use the candle or the lighter or the match to melt the snow into drinkable water. So like I said earlier, you shouldn't have bottled water with you because it may tend to explode and compromise the container when it freezes, because as water freezes, it expands. Another thing is a bucket, and they say it's for use as a portable toilet, so you can definitely do that. And the toilet paper, of course, is in here. You can take the toilet paper out and put it in the bucket. Now, another thing they recommend is sand or kitty litter. So I've got kitty litter here. I would use kitty litter instead. It's more coarse. It has more rougher particles, and the wheels may get more traction by using kitty litter instead of sand, but whatever works best. Another thing they don't talk about, but I think should be used as well, is a measuring tape. You can do it for many things. Measure the depth of the snow that you're in, measure the depth of the snow drifts that you may be driving into, something that may require a measurement of some sort. I would probably take a measuring tape of some kind. So these are things that you can put in your vehicle for such a rainy day. And with the bucket here, you can take a lot of this stuff and just stuff it in the bucket and then take it with you. So throw this around your back, pick that up and go, and you're off and running. And again, you know, in a lot of areas in the southeast, you're not going to have this kind of extreme preparedness that's going to be necessary, but there's always that one time, that one moment where you will say, I wish I had something. So these are definitely good items to have in case that you need them. So now let's go and talk about what you should have for your home. Alright, so now we've done our mobile setup. Let's give you some items for the home. Now, most of the stuff that's in your mobile setup also probably belongs in the home, but we'll start out with one of the more obvious items: flashlights with spare batteries. So got a flashlight here. Probably best to have at least one flashlight for every member of your household. And for the batteries, I have a battery case. I have a carrying case with all the batteries that I use. So then they go from the 9 volts to the D's, C's, AA's, AAA's, and even the watch batteries and the button batteries. So I have them here, and I can use them at any time. So next up, a battery powered NOAA weather radio. So you can see here, it's a plug-in NOAA weather radio. It's got same technology, and it does have a battery backup back here down on the bottom, and when I turn it on,
Memphis, mostly sunny, 44 degrees.
So now you can see it works.
Asheville, sunny.
Even when it's not plugged in. Now, if you don't have a NOAA weather radio, if you have a ham radio, you can just grab your HT and plug in the 100, it's on the 162 megahertz frequency range. So basically go from 162 to 163 megahertz, and you will find
it was cloudy. The temperature was 44 degrees.
That you can pick up NOAA weather radio. Now, other than the old Radio Shack HTX 202, I don't know of very many ham radios in the modern era that do not pick up no weather radio. Extra food and water, such as dried fruits, nuts, granola bars, and other foods. You saw the energy bars I had in the backpack. That's certainly some of it. Also some non-perishable foods. So I've got cans of tuna, cans of beans, cans of corn, non-perishable foods. Make sure you also have a can opener, a manual can opener. Rice, of course. And then the next item is prescription medications. Make sure you have enough prescription meds and some of the over-the-counter stuff. Ibuprofen, aspirin, Tylenol. Make sure you have a good first aid kit of Band-Aids, gauze, and other items that, salves and creams that you could use to treat injuries. Next up, and I don't have any here because I don't have I don't have any that are young enough, but baby diapers and baby formula. Make sure you have at least enough supply for at least 3 days, typically is what I have. Gallon jugs of water is another thing that you should also have. I don't have them out here, they're in the storage area, but I have 4 people in this house right now, so a gallon of water per person per day is the recommendation. And so I again recommend at least 3 days minimum, so that's at least 12 gallons of water. And I use distilled water, and I can also get a gallon of drinking water if necessary. Distilled water will work just as well, but I can put distilled water in my CPAP, and so we have that at the ready. Next up, we got your kids and we got the water. Don't forget your pets. Have a full bag of pet food for your pets, whatever pet foods that they eat. Make sure that you have plenty of food for them to at least last 72 hours, give or take. So next up is heating fuel. So I'm going to pull this up here. Not going to put it on the table, but I do have an extra propane tank and propane accessories. And maybe out of shot here, I'll show you here a little bit, but I have an outdoor heater, and I use that whenever we want to keep warm and we're outside doing chores out here on the deck. Another thing to have if you're going to have an alternate heating source, a carbon monoxide alarm. Can't stress this enough. Some people out there are going to use a gas grill. I have a gas grill, I can use that gas tank. They're going to use this external heater. They're going to use some sort of propane heater or grilling device. They may even use charcoal indoors to keep warm. They may get desperate. So if that does happen, you should have a carbon monoxide detector in case it builds up, and have it in a central part of the house. I have mine in the hallway. Might not hurt to have one on each floor of your house, as well as have one in areas where people tend to congregate the most in your household. And it says to make sure that your carbon monoxide detector is working. There you go. It is working. Check it. This one takes AA batteries, so make sure you change them in the same interval as they recommend. They normally would recommend for your smoke detectors to change them at the time change, but now that the time change is pretty much very lopsided, about 4 months for winter, the daylight savings time, or the standard time I should say, and then daylight savings in the summer from roughly March to April time frame all the way to November now. It's good to keep it at least once a year. Another thing that I recommend is ice melt. So I would stock up on as much ice melt as I could, And I also have a couple of 5-gallon buckets with this stuff. So I have at least 4 buckets worth of ice melt. And the only reason I say that is 2 years ago we had a pretty mild snowstorm by many standards here in East Tennessee, but the road that I was on was socked in for about a week with snow because the weather was just perfect timing, where the sun didn't come out to melt the snow, and the emergency vehicles and the snowplows did not come in through my neighborhood. I'm on a tertiary road essentially, so the interstates and the primary roads were being treated, and the secondary roads were being treated every so often, and the tertiary roads didn't get anything until about a week later. Then there was a snow plow that finally came up the road, and where I live, it's on a hill, and at the bottom of the hill is a house, and I do not want to use this road that I live on as a ski jump. So I ended up staying in. We fortunately had supplies to last us the entire week. We had power, so it wasn't that big of an issue, and I could work from home, and so it wasn't as desperate of a time. But on that one rare occasion, we didn't have any ice melt here at the house, so I couldn't treat the roads in my neighborhood to get out and go get food, go get some supplies, or go to work. Now, about a year later, last year as a matter of fact, we had another snowstorm, and this time everybody in the neighborhood was prepared. We got out there the next morning, and several of the neighbors were out shoveling the snow off of the roads, shoveling the snow and the ice, using ice melt, using salt, whatever agents that they could, as well as shovels, and we got the roads cleared way faster than if we relied on public services. So something to consider. Now, I'm definitely a pet person, so I think that pets are family too. If you have a pet that you keep outdoors, a dog or cat, consider bringing them in during the severe weather. Put them in your garage, put them in a room that you don't use. Just make sure that they have adequate shelter, keep them warm. Now, if you're on a farm, and I'm not on a farm, but my mother-in-law is, so she has rabbits and chickens and ducks, and so she has to get different kinds of food for all of them, and so she makes sure that they are taken care of. She has some cats and a dog, and so she makes sure that they are brought indoors and kept out of the elements. And water, that's a big thing. Now, of course, it's a little hard with water in the winter time. One thing you might consider, if you have like a big tank of water that horses or cattle or your other animals may drink from, get like an aquarium bubbler and use that, put it in the tank, and it circulates the water. It keeps the water moving so that it doesn't freeze. But something like a bubbler or a filtration system that moves the water so that the water is not going to freeze immediately, it'll help that. And might not even hurt to get an aquarium heater to put there as well, as long as you're close to a power source. So that's definitely something to consider as well. Take care of your pets, take care of your farm animals. Okay, a couple of things I can't stress enough. Number one, do not use a generator indoors. If you lose power, keep your generator outside. Make sure it's adequately locked and chained. Also, do not bring the generators indoors because of carbon monoxide poisoning. That's why I said have a carbon monoxide detector. It's vital. So that, and using a gas stove or an oven, don't use those to heat your home. It might be good to heat up if you lose power on a short-term basis, but consider a propane heater, consider a portable camping heater that's not going to give off a lot of carbon monoxide agents. And again, if you do have to use something like that, keep your carbon monoxide detector with fresh batteries. Do not use charcoal. Don't even use it in the fireplace. If you have a fireplace, don't use that. Dress accordingly. So if you have temperatures in the 30s and the wind chill's down into the single digits, dress as if you're going out into the single digits, because if the wind's blowing, it's going to get that cold, and if you're not properly dressed, it'll just make you that much more miserable, and you got the threat of hypothermia and frostbite. We don't want that. And finally, now is a good time to prepare. You saw my Go Kit in the backpack. You saw all the stuff that I put out there for you to have. Do an inventory. Find out what you have versus what you need, and then go out and get what you need. So if you need ice melt, get it now. Don't wait until there's a storm coming, because by then it will be too late. Don't wait until there's a storm coming to get a snow shovel. It'll be too late. Don't wait until there's a forecast of winter weather, because here in East Tennessee they forecast snow flurries. You're out of bread and milk for the next week. So go ahead and prepare now. Get the non-perishables that you need, get the fuels that you need, get the tools that you need, get the batteries, get all of that. Have it at the ready. Better to be prepared and have too much than not enough. Also, again, don't just go out and get the stuff. Get enough of it. Get enough of it to prepare for at least 3 days. Here in East Tennessee, 3 days is about the norm. I know in some areas of the country it's less, it's more, and maybe non-existent, because they get like a 1 in 100 or 1 in 100 year storm. So, but it's good to be prepared. If there's something that is on its way, you're not the only one that's finding out about it. All right, so you should be preparing now before everyone else. Try and get that jump start on everyone else. Find anything that you need for the worst case scenario, because you never know when that's going to happen, and it will happen. So better to be prepared. I hope this helps you. I hope it's at least a good reminder, and share it out if you like. You don't have to be a ham to prepare for winter weather, but of course ham radio does help. But if this helps somebody, then I'm all for it. And if you have any other suggestions, put them in the comments below, and we'll see you next time.